Okay, I think we're live. We're here, we're live. To me, my volume is cranked. It is cranked, bro. It is Soldier Boy cranked. It is ripping. It is, frankly, ripping. So you guys let me know. Inevitably, somebody's gonna say, it's too quiet. I don't know what to do. I have all the dials cranked. We are whiz banging. We are clear to me. I've got Bose speakers, Bose headphones. My volume is 30% on and I am just blaring. So I don't know what else to do if it's too low. What's up, everybody? Hanging out in chat early. We got, who do we got here? We got Omen, Port City, Andrews, Joey, of course. Joey coming in hot with a booyah. Masky, what's up? If you guys want me to look at anything, let me know. Theo, thank you. Win Bitcoin dominance 60. I don't know who pays attention to dominance. If you're a shitcoiner, I won't say shitcoiner, I'll say spitcoiner. If you're a spitcoiner, what do you give two flying flips about dominance? You shouldn't. You really shouldn't. You should be just trading individual charts. The problem is that the Bitcoiners don't care about dominance. The Spitcoiners shouldn't care about dominance. But it tells you where you shouldn't be mostly. You shouldn't mostly be in alts. Just hasn't worked out for you. For months. Months and months and months and months and months. Alright, hold on. I don't know why chat like snaps to the bottom when I scroll and then I lose my spot. I gotta turn on the stream. There we are. I'm like, yeah, I should be like this close. So I'm like leaning in, boys. We're leaning in, we're loud. We're going as loud as we can. I'm screaming. All right, sorry. We need some kind of transaction other than BTC, blah, blah, blah. I'm near 70 and would rather have an ETH ETF than something. Yeah, we'll probably get news, what, 3:30, I think? Today's the 23rd, so it's going to be approval or denial today for one of the ETFs. Probably approval based on what happened. QT, no rate cuts, people are broke. Who the fudge is buying? Zem, I agree. That's why alts haven't done amazing. The core audience for alts just isn't here. Period, you know? So that's why some of them individually have done really well. AI stuff pulled back since last night, but stuff like Pepe, Bonk, you know, at least there's a chart. There's always people asking me about stuff on Base or stuff on some other 3-second old coin. Like I don't have an edge there. I don't know what to say, you know, like if I can't put TA on it, I don't bother. It's just gambling. There's nothing against that. You want to gamble, go for it. It's just not for me, you know? Why won't this... I'm trying to do the individual thing. Give me the individual thing. What's going on? Oh, there we go. I use this every day and I still don't know what Anyway, this is Kraken Pro. My trading view's been super laggy for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on there. I've used multiple browsers. If it's real simple, you know, this stream could really be 2 minutes. If your coin doesn't look like the select view where everything's above the cloud, like there's really no point. It has to look so terrible in a good way. Like we can just get straight to it, right? Like this chart I would never touch ever. Scroll back, scroll back, scroll back. It is at all-time lows, okay? there's a time and a place to buy coins that are dying. With inflation as high as it is, liquidity as low as it is, relatively, with rates as high as they are, it's just not the time. Okay, it's just not the time. Not for me. It's not my style. If you like buying falling knives, go for it. But I would avoid charts that look like this, especially when there's so many other options where stuff's going up and to the right instead of down. You know, that's just where we're at in the market. That's Tezos BTC, by the way. Just diving, just absolutely diving. All right. Joey is battling chat. Mirrodin, what's up? Loud and clear. Sounds is so loud. See, now we're too loud. BTC Whisperer. Yep, bro. All your coins have done multiples. I'm happy for you. Hope you made money. I don't know what else to say. Keep gambling. That's not what I do. So I can't comment on that. I can't comment on coins that are created 2 seconds ago, have gone to 10,000x and then gone to zero. I don't have any comment on that, you know? What do you want me to do? What do you want me? You don't need me. Why are you in the chat, right? Like, there's nothing I can say about that. All right, so we have ETH stuff that happened. Like I said a couple times in videos this week, it just wasn't happening, and then it was happening. Politics happened. People pivoted. Okay, like, we're back, I guess. I don't know. Looks like it's happening. So that's good for ETH in the long term. I think, you know, anything above a cloud is a buy for me. Okay, anything above a cloud, that includes ETH. Now this could, here's kind of my assumption on a lot of this stuff, some sort of like head and shoulders here, inverted head and shoulders. It's not the best pattern to trade because you're basically buying the breakout at the local high, but it is what it is, right? You either do that or you buy the Kijun, which is down here, make this a little bit bigger. I mean, I say this stuff all the time and it hasn't really changed. It's always the same. That's why I like the cloud. The strategy is always the same, right? ETH could do this, it could cup and handle, it could do some variation of both, whatever. The best purchase is going to be at the Kijun, which is currently 3260. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Settings. 3260 is the Kijun, okay? Whether or not it comes down there, I don't know. It's dynamic. It'll move up a little bit with price. Let's crank that so I can see it. Okay. 3260, okay? That's the level I like right now today. I don't like chasing 50% candles. That's an ugly daily candle. Everything's kind of ugly today. That's the level, right? This is going to change over time. Look how it acted. Just back test it. You don't have to trust me. Just look at the indicator. Back test it. Look at it. Alternatively, we can do what? MA cross. We can do this. The 1050 is back tests really, really well. Let's do red and white. I don't care about the crosses. Let's bump this up. Bump this up. We'll hide the cloud. So the 1050, much like the TK crosses, you can put bids on the 10, you can put bids on the 50. The further away you get from the 1050, the more overbought things get, okay? But it's clearly bullish. Clearly you have a 1050 cross, okay, on ETH. What else? There's really nothing else to say, you know? Like, okay, we get some positive news again, price goes up. Maybe. Where are you selling? You just holding? That's fine. Like, I can't answer all the questions because I don't know what everybody's doing, but you had the falling wedge. I didn't think this would break up because I didn't think the news would be positive. Port City, if you're still here, assuming that's what he got really angry before the stream started. He or she, I don't know. The ETF just flat out wasn't happening. But there was evidence on the chart for this. I mentioned it a couple times in videos. I said, you've got a falling wedge. If you want to trade that, you can trade that. So people who did very well. The targets for this, typically, your first target is always just back to the local high. Your next target's going to be the 1618. We're definitely not there yet. We're doing this real time. Real time. Let's go right. Let's bump this up. There we go. 4850 would be the next target. We almost got to the local high. Almost. We have a bunch of weirdness with whatever geopolitical nonsense is going on right now. I could really care less, honestly. I'm sorry. What do you want us to do about it in the United States, you know? We're dealing with our own problems. Our plane is literally, it's hurling to the ground. The plane that is the United States of America is hurling to the ground, and we're busy putting oxygen masks on everybody else but ourselves. We just need to like take a minute, 5 seconds, put up the oxygen mask on ourselves, figure out what's going on. Then maybe we can fix the rest of the world as we so like to do. Anyway, so 1050, 3200 is good. 3300 is good if we pop the cloud back on. Sorry, where is it? Show, okay. Same sort of levels, not exactly the same, but these are, the 1050 is going to be a little bit more dynamic than the TK lines. At some point here, the TK lines are going to flatten out. So that's going to be probably 3400, you know, so look, that's the zone. But this is above the cloud again, so that's good. That's what you want to see. BTC, same thing. It's above the cloud. Okay, like we're going to squirrel around for a little while on some news, apparently. I don't know. But I like the trend. I like where this sits. I like how this looks. We could get this. We could get, let's bump that up. Let's make that red. We could get this. We could get a cup and handle. I don't know. Like, look, we literally bounced almost 30%. We're going to give some back regardless of what's going on. I still like the cloud. This very much reminds me of 2020 post-halving, where it was kind of like, we kind of like, yeah, where was having May, right? May something? May 16th or something like that. I think. Somewhere over here. Whatever. Halving was like there, okay? And we like did a bunch of nothing. We did our typical like 100 days of nothing. The cloud's still telling you bullish, 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 stay bullish, get bullish. So I still like it. As long as we're above the cloud, I think we're fine. I think dips are for buying. That's what the cloud is telling me. So that's what I'm going to do. BTC, previously it had the, depending on how you want to measure this, it had the inverted head and shoulders that broke out. Didn't even quite get to its target. Depending on how you want to measure this, this would be the most generous. If you want to say like this was the neckline, you could say, well, we got there. You know, it really depends. It's tough because it was a diagonal, but that's not how I measured it. So, you know, it is what it is. So that worked out. The next step is reconsolidating somewhere above the cloud-ish and trying to figure out what we're doing up here. Where was I going with this? Oh, so now we've got this. This is our consolidation zone pretty clearly now. Previously, you could say, well, let's take this high and this low. Do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. But now that we've got a bunch of highs put in, this would be, to me, this is what I'm looking at, right? This is the next target. What do I want to do here? Sorry, red, nothing. Okay, so this would be the next target. Let's assume we don't go to zero. Okay, that would be the target. Just like ETH, anything close to this, to me, is an opportunity. Boop. I don't like that's hard to see. Maybe my browser's just too zoomed in. So anything close to 65, fine. You know, I mean, people always want like exact values. I think that's good enough. I don't know what this will potentially morph into at this point. Clearly 71 is the line in the sand at the moment. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it, right? There's not really much else to say. All right, like a catch up with chat. Brooper, you're welcome, RB. Bowden. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have anything to say about the scam pump and dump coins that have been here for 2 seconds, okay? I just don't. Cup and handle on BTC, that's possible. Updates on Doge. Okay, we'll take a look at Doge. Good morning, men of culture. Bet on BlackRock short ETH. I don't know about that. I used to watch this guy's vids in 2017. He's still around, so I commend that. Yet another drama. I support the current thing. During the recession will occur, yield curve, and the BTC, do you think there won't be a recession? It's going to be hard to get to a recession if we're spending what we're spending. If the yield curve uninverts and we have high unemployment, that's the warning sign. And that's, people have been saying that for 3 years at this point. I don't know. Like, the problem with the doomers is the same problem I have with Tom Lee. Okay, Tom Lee has said the same shit for 10 years. He's been right most of the time, but I don't need to hear what he's going to say because I already know what he's going to say. He's going to say, buy the dip. He's going to say, inflation is under expectations. That's all he's always said. That's my problem with Tom Lee. And Tom Lee knows this. We've talked about this in person, Tom Lee and I. So, like, okay, like, he's a permabull. The doomers are the same way, right? Buy canned goods, bullets, and gold, silver. I don't know. Like, they're always saying the same thing. It's always the end of the world. The sky's always falling. What do you do with that? You know? What do you do with that? So wait for the metrics that have historically pointed to problems, and that's the best you can do, you know? Like, we can pull it up if my trading view doesn't rug me. If you think we're getting closer to having issues, sell some risk. Like, I can't do that for you, you know? It's up to you. If you think the top is in for BTC, crack open that hardware wallet, boys. It's over. Time to go home, pack it up. I don't think so, but people are getting very skittish, very nervous. I don't know if it's their first cycle or what. Yield spreads? I don't know what's going on. It's like, guys, we're at 70K. What are you worried about? We're at 67. Like, take a breather, you know? So this is the chart to watch. The yield curve, not only is the yield curve not uninverting, it's re-inverting, okay? It's re-inverting. So this is the best we've got. This is the best I've got. The best I know to pay attention to. If the yield curve is not uninverted, we got plenty of room. If unemployment, regardless of how fake you think the numbers are, if the numbers we get aren't above alarm bell levels, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It is what it is. I don't know what to say. So that's what I would watch. Is unemployment lagging? Probably, which is why historically if you look at the yield curve uninversion happens first. So that's the earliest of early warning signs. And way before that the inversion happens, but that is not, you've got a variable amount of time till potentially getting to a recession. So I don't, that's the best I've got. That's the best I know to look at for that sort of thing. But you've got doomers on 10,000 podcasts saying, and it's usually like the same 20 people ish. It's like maybe 10, maybe 20. Look, I enjoy listening to these people. They have interesting data points. But the facts are the facts, okay? Facts are the facts. Okay, let me catch up. Gaming blockchain. Anything, how do I want to put this? If the chart looks like this, I like it. That's the best I can do, If you believe in a project and you think the project is going to do well and the coin is going to do well, then buy it. What do you want me to say? We can look at INJ, GOSP, just for you. What's up, Builder? Good to have you. Feels like the economy is weak. I know a lot of people who got laid off haven't found a job in a year. Hard to believe risk assets will just keep flying. Well, the other part of this is the bifurcation in the economy, in the jobs market, in the haves and the have-nots, in the reality being reflected in the market isn't exactly, the S&P is not Main Street, right? So again, we can formulate and add up all these data points and say like, this is what we think should happen. Aggregate that risk appropriately and then make investment decisions. That's what I try to do, okay? And just hasn't mattered. It just hasn't mattered. And why do I think that it hasn't mattered? It's because we're just spending so much as a government. Fiscal dominance, boom. Yield curve similar to the 90s. Do you typically use weekly cloud for longer term target? Yeah, we can look at the weekly. Somebody talking about weekly distribution for Wyckoff. Okay, I don't know what to say. I don't know how this is Wyckoff distribution, but okay. To me, it just looks like we're ranging. We've been above the weekly cloud since 42. We've been through the weekly cloud since 26. If this gets ugly, it's 50. That's the Kijun on the weekly. That's kind of it, right? I mean, the weekly cloud is bullish. Everything is bullish. Backtest this to when we go from bear to bull. Backtest this post-halving. It looks pretty good to me. If you're DCAing, if you're buying, you want these lows, right? What caught me off sides was definitely the ETH announcement and the reaction after that. My plan was to wait for this day, which was post NVIDIA earnings, ideally post ETF, ETH stuff. So I like this. I like that prices are lower personally because I'm still bullish. Yeah, I'll talk about PFE if my trading view is working. Bonk, near. Yeah, a lot of these charts. So I'd start here, right? Any coin, any stock, I don't care what it is. I like it on a bullish perspective. If it's above the cloud, if it recently had a bullish TK cross. Sol, very similar. I like Sol spot purchases here. I like BTC spot purchases here. I like ETH spot purchases lower. We're just a little overexcited. I think the best opportunity is probably going to be when these things go live. And when we start to see the ETH outflows, ETH, right? ETH has some outflows coming probably. I think that's what keeps us in this range on ETH, and I think that's how we get these moving averages to catch up. I like DCA buys on anything above the cloud. I like leverage buys on Kijun, that sort of thing. I don't really see a pattern here that's worth trading. This is probably a bear div on that, if I had to guess. Yeah, so you've got RSI. On the 4 hour, you got higher highs and lower lows on RSI. So that's going to need to cool off for a minute. So that's BTC, Sol, and ETH. Pepe. So I took the Pepe trade, like a week ago? Maybe, I think it was May 5th. May 5th? I think this trade is done, personally, for the moment. So I traded it from here. I sold it yesterday. I liked that this was, again, above the cloud, bullish TK cross, right? Like this is all just, it's the same thing over and over again. It's never different. It never changes, okay? I like that this was a pattern. I like that this was consolidating for 2 months, 2.5 months, right? So if a meme coin looks like this, if an altcoin looks like this, I really like those type of charts. If we measure the fibs, if we say, I think there's a setting here. Yeah, fibs based on log. The reason I sold is because we were in the wheelhouse of the target for the pattern, okay? It's also up 200% from the bottom. So it's, on to the next trade, right? It was a great trade. It's still probably fine on trend, still probably fine. Eventually, as a cycle hold, it's enough for me in the moment. Doge had a similar setup. If we go to like the 4 hour. Doge had a similar setup on a trade I'm still in, where it also had this attempt. I'm so terrible at drawing these things. It had this attempt, right? Triple bottom, whatever. Okay, this was the target. Target's all the way up here. It's given a lot back. It's not looking amazing here. Depending on how you want to draw this now with a bunch of like resistance zones. I'm still in some of this trade. I still like spot purchases as long as it's above the daily cloud. You can see Doge not quite fully bullish. So it's in this weird limbo, right? It doesn't look like Solar ETH or BTC, but it might eventually. So just something to pay attention to if you're interested in trading that. This pattern, it's on thin ice, right? Typically, I say anything below the right shoulder is your stop loss. So this would be 14 something. I don't know. This is also kind of a lesson for people who are like rotating. Like eventually that trade slows down or doesn't work. The same thing with the commodity trade, right? Gold moved first, silver moved. People, including myself, looking at copper, looking at platinum, palladium. What else? What else is on that list? I don't know. Like it's the same type of thing. But this is definitely on thin ice here. In a week, in 2 weeks, it probably looks better on the cloud, on the daily. WIF, I haven't really looked at WIF, so we'll take a look. Not really enough data to see the daily cloud. This to me in the moment looks just rangy chop. It like had something going here. So maybe it still has a shot. It's tough to say. You can take off the cloud. It's tough to say just because it's, I don't know. Like I like it much better at 3 than I do here. I don't know why I can't draw. I can't draw. That's why I just do this typically. Anyway, is this like an ascending triangle? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it looks as good as the others, certainly. Render, we're just going by volume. It's also a sign that you've got BTC, ETH, Sol, top 3, aside from stablecoins. Then you've got Pepe, Doge, and WIF. Those are effectively your top 5 are layer 1s, the leading layer 1s, meme coins, and then you've got AI coins. And the rest is just whatever. Near on the daily has looked fine for a while now. Still looks fine to me. Anything above the daily cloud, I'm a broken record, I know. We'll give it a dotted line. It had a hell of a neckline here. Okay, hell of a neckline. I wouldn't want to see this go below the previous right shoulder, but if it did, it's still above the cloud. It's still above the Kijun. I'm in a spot position on this. I've been in a spot position on this since April 27th. So I've been holding this since then. It's fine. It's not really going anywhere. I don't really care. Or hasn't gone anywhere. I don't really care about it too much, but the target would be like 1050-ish. You could say, well, it's back to the neckline. I think the pattern still looks great. I think the setup is still there. I still really like the chart. Definitely one of the better charts. The dude who did the yield curve study said the 10 and 3 month. Yeah, if the problem with the 10 and the 3 month is I can't pull that up on TradingView, I don't think. This is the 10 and 3 month. And I don't have the full back tested data past 2014. So you're right. He did say that. but I don't have the history on that. I assume the 3-month was in existence before 2014, hence his study. It's still inverted deeply, right? Still inverted deeply. You should do a Patreon or something for extra vids. I mean, I trade full time and I just record what I'm talking about, right? It's not like I have some magic secret sauce that that I hold back. I just do the videos on what I'm trading, you know. But thank you. I do have a YouTube subscription thing. My YouTube OnlyFans, $3 a month. Do you know any good scalp day trade tech or more of a swing? Chris, what do you want, buddy? I would focus on making money over day trading, personally. I think the great, like the Pepe example is the great example because, let me pull it up. So like I said, I think May 5th was when I opened that. Okay, that was like 20 days ago. Less than that. Like you have to give stuff a minute to give you the return, you know? That's the the like 1 month window is where I do my best trading for me. So I wouldn't worry about like making $10,000 every day or whatever it is people do. Like find the setups, find what you like to trade that makes you money. Focus on that, you know? Look at like here's another like you don't need to be super hyper sophisticated. Here's the 1050 cross on Pepe, okay? The point is to just get into something when 1050. Like you just want to be at the party when the people arrive. That's really all it comes down to. You know? You had your 1050 cross, you had the cloud. This is the 12 hour, right? Look at Bonk. I bought some Bonk a couple days ago. Can you guess why? Chris, guess why for me. I bought some Bonk, right? It's just finding setups that historically have worked for you, statistically make you money, give you some sort of edge. The time frames are relevant, you know? You could have traded the gold version of this, right? If we go to if we go to gold, it's the same chart. It's the same chart. It just took 4 years to break out, right? So it's really not about like I must make this much every day. That's a terrible way to look at things. Terrible. It's just terrible. BNB is another one. It should break out eventually, right? I wouldn't trade this on leverage just because it's taken 35 years to get there. But it looks fine. It looks fine. Bonk still looks okay, but it kind of has already broken out. I think it has a ways to go. If I had to guess, yeah. So it had this like other Adam and Eve pattern outside of this massive thing. I don't know. Find the setups that you like. Is it trend? Is it moving average crosses? Is it breakout? Whatever. I would avoid this time frame discussion. But I would have a bias towards 4 hour and above. I would avoid anything below the 4 hour. I said, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We were talking about Sol in a video, and I said, just watch the 8 hour. It's been pretty dead on the money. There's your 8-hour breakout at 161. The rest of it is up to you. It's the sizing discussion, confidence, leverage. That's all up to you. If you're trading a massive stack, you don't really need leverage. Yeah, FTM, sure. We're all over the place. Timestamps are going to be a mess. Daily FTM, not above the cloud. Needs time. Needs time. The problem with anything that's been around for a couple of years, it's had so long to have inflation at infinity. This isn't just FTM, this is anything. You've got inflation at infinity, you've got stakers just dumping, you've got the team dumping, you've got devs dumping. It really needs a good catalyst to do anything. This looks okay on the weekly cloud, but this could take 3 to 6 months to move. So if you like that as a bet, just know it's probably going to take a while. The top is when I start Solana meme coin trading. Again, I don't have an edge there, so like even me trading Pepe and Bonk, the reasons I'm trading them are because I was able to track the setup I like. Back to Chris's comment about day trading. It doesn't matter what, it's Pepe, great, okay. Is it liquid? Is it listed on an exchange that I don't think is going to rug me? Those are the two biggest things I care about. That's it, right? There's nothing else to say. Find the setups you like, trade those. You know, I missed this in January, February. I wasn't looking at it. I did not miss this. I did not miss Pepe this time. These are all the same chart, right? All right. We talked about Near, so I still like Near. The other thing is for people, you get in this like dopamine trap where you expect things to work out in 6 hours if you're day trading, and then you go trade metals or commodities or legacy, TradFi, and you're like, oh man, why isn't this up 15% in a day? You know, like it's just a different market. The speed is different. So even Pepe working out in 20 days, like that's pretty slow for Pepe, I'd argue, right? All right, that's Near. Render's another one, looks fine. It is roughly the same thing we saw on NVIDIA, the same thing we're seeing potentially on ETH, the same thing we're potentially seeing on BTC. You get these weird inverted head and shoulders arguments at the top of a range. As long as it can hold and chop around and consolidate above the daily cloud, I've got no issues with it. We can pull up NVIDIA. I talk about this example frequently. If we go to NVIDIA on the daily, back in here, right? I wasn't paying attention to this enough on the daily to get into this trade at that time. I just wasn't. But to see it reclaim the daily cloud, bullish TK cross, like that's good enough for anything to happen. And I've been saying for, I don't know, past week, I think Sunday we talked about it. It had, before I delete this stuff, you know, this had a bunch of patterns. They all played out. You had the double top broke down. You had the inverse head and shoulders on a lower time frame broke up. Now you've got this thing. Depending on how you want to draw this, it's up to you. We can go to like, I don't know, 4 hour or something. Take the cloud off. Like you've got like shades of what could be interpreted as a bullish bias, right? Inverted head and shoulders. That's just where we're at in the market. There's like a ton of these. I posted a bunch of them on my On my profile, if I can ever remember how to get to this. I don't know, I hope that doesn't dock something. I don't think it does. Anyway, I posted a bunch of them on TradingView. Doge, there's that one. This snowflake stock, after hours it broke up, then it's way down today during regular session. This is the bonk. We talked about that already. Anyway, so there's a bunch of these, right? If we measure this, we're not quite to the target. Certainly has a little bit of juice left in the target potentially. But even with this, before this broke up, what did you have? You had this, right? You're always going to have a bullish DK cross. It's not going to move against you. So it's hard for the cloud to be wrong. So it's trying to get you in trades like this, right? This doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look amazing. But it's just telling you the trend remains bullish. FET getting there, not quite, kind of like Doge, where it's in this intermediate, needs a bullish TK cross. Ripple, let's talk about Ripple, because I know there's all three of you who love to keep asking me about Ripple. Think about Ripple versus all the other charts we just talked about, right? Like, where's your signal here? Where's your edge? What are you trading? You're trading hopium and copium that, for whatever reason, you're going to see regulatory relief. I don't even know. I don't even know why people care about this chart. Still, even if this 4x from here, I would not have an edge to tell you, yeah, that's a trade I would have taken, If this can get above the weekly cloud, then we can talk. The daily is useless. It's chopped around forever. Even this diagonal support, barely useful. Barely. So there's really nothing to say. That's the other thing about Ripple. Everybody, I feel like the people who still trade Ripple and pay attention to Ripple are like the rapture people. They're like, one day it's going to take over. Just you wait. One day. Even if we pull up, if we pull up this on Bitstamp, which I think has the most data, you can see immediately that the cloud is just not the indicator to use for this, because it's giving you garbage trades, horrible signals. To me, that's more a product of Ripple than the cloud, to be clear. There's just no signal here. It's very tough. But if we go all the way back to this is like what Bonk did and what Pepe and Whiff. If we go back to 2017, the cloud was telling you before the breakout. The cloud was reminding you after the breakout. Okay. And it just kept happening. It just kept happening. Even if it told you, get in here. Whatever. The point is, right now, what is it telling you? What is the daily telling you? It's telling you exactly nothing. Still bearish on a 3-day. So if this can get above 60 cents in November, that's when we talk about trading this. I'll do you one better. I will set an alarm. I'll set an alarm on this. 64 cents. Why not? It's just, now's not the time. I agree, Omen. Ripple is dead money. It's just not the time. And I feel that way about most alts. It's just not the time. AVAX I talked about in the video. Not above the daily cloud yet. Just needs more time. Needs more time. Dot probably looks the same, right? If AVAX, Dot, 17 other charts look the same, like it doesn't matter that it's Matic and you think the devs are awesome, right? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It needs a catalyst, or it needs the group to move together. So that's not a bull trend. Somehow ICP has a bunch of volume. This chart looks like, reminds me of the oil chart where it's got that huge weekly head and shoulders potentially, but this is already telling you on the cloud that this looks ugly. It depends where you want to put the neckline. I don't really think it matters, but this is not pretty. It's not. I cannot be bullish on something if it's not above the daily cloud. It's that simple. Like, again, you might think ICP is going to take over, I don't know, the mainframe of the United States of America, whatever, I don't know. It just doesn't matter. FTM we talked about. What else we got? Filecoin looks like everything else. There's also this huge, like, you know, this could just chop you up forever. It needs the rest of the market to be bullish. Link, ARB looks okay. I wouldn't touch it again. It's not above the daily cloud. Link, I think, kind of looks like AVAX. Kind of looks like Dot, right? These all kind of look the same. OP, vaguely the same. You know, there's nothing to say. Ondo, I think somebody in the comments was asking me about. Oop, that's not it. I thought Ondo looked okay last week. Yeah, there it is. Ondo had something broke out. You know, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. What else we got? LTC, another dead money coin like Ripple. It's just chop, you know? Like, revisit all of these in Q4. Focus on the strength, leadership. Focus on the narrative that's AI. And come back to this stuff later. ADA. Did you guys see the video from old Chucky Hoskinson today? Saying Bitcoin's a cult, it won't survive. This chart looks like everything else, you know? It looks like AVAX, Dot. Doesn't matter right now. Lido looks like OP, looks like ARB. Doesn't matter right now. SHIB, I actually thought might have a trade in here. It's a meme coin that's been around for longer than 3 seconds. It's consolidated for a long time. It has this, like, whatever you want to call this, complex, multi-shouldered, whatever. I don't know. I like Bonk more than this, to be clear. But there could be a trade here. The daily cloud, yeah, it's still not above the daily cloud. So maybe when this gets above the daily cloud, it would be a better trade to take. I'm just going to set an alert for myself at whatever price that is. I have no idea. What else we got? Tia, I think, turned up a little. Oh, just kidding. I would avoid anything that looks like this. Anything that looks like this, usually not a good sign. Now, this changes if Tia can hold the range for 6 months, then we can revisit this. But to me, the momentum is still pretty bearish. Pretty bearish. Gala looks like everything else. I think was this the one that got hacked this week? I can't remember. Ocean looks okay. It's in that AI narrative. These clearly have this going on too. Like, is that enough to trade? I don't know if it's enough to trade. It's ascending triangle vibes, but it's enough to like think about later, you know? If this can get a bullish TK cross above the cloud, I like it a lot better. It's getting there. It's getting there. AKT, another one. You've got, you know, do I know that all of these are going to work out? I have no clue. But I'd much rather trade charts that look like this than charts that look like TIA. Right? You'd say boom, 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 neckline, measure this. Where's Chris? Get Chris in here. Chris, I like this one. First step, identify an edge. Second step, determine confidence. Third step, size appropriately. Fourth step, wait. That's the trade. Potentially something to watch. I think I said it's an AI category, right? Probably. I can't remember. KSM. Pretty gnarly Adam and Eve. Broke down. Kind of has a mini Adam and Eve down there. I don't know, it's still bearish like everything else on trend. BCH, why not? Why not? That looks better than TIA, I can tell you that. I'd still be afraid of this potentially. I'm never trading that, but yeah, anyway, it's in the daily cloud. Had a question about Monero today. How are you looking, Mr. Monero? I don't look so good, Mr. Nakamoto. It's just flat. Flat. Not really much to say there. Anything else we're talking about? Bonk. We talked about Grayscale has an STX trust that they're opening. This one, I remember this one, it was like the hot-ish a couple months ago. Needs to get back above the daily cloud. People asking about ETH BTC. ETH BTC, oh man. Let's go to TradingView for that one. ETH BTC, having a day. Having a series of days. So what I was saying on one of the videos, think like the Ripple example. You know, if the daily cloud is not giving you a reliable signal, bump it up a time frame. I would argue that this, as a trading indicator for this pair, has been terrible. You've had several attempts that went literally nowhere. Okay, so I can't take the daily seriously. You have to go up a time frame. You just have to. So I like this above with a 2-day close and a bullish cloud, right? Like I want to be super sure. If we want to let's do a whiplash 180. If we go to Pfizer on the daily cloud, okay? Like this is what you want to see. It doesn't matter that this is Pfizer. I don't really care. But you want to see something that has just gotten denied forever and then magically is above the cloud, right? Like that is the chance to take that trade. That's a bullish Kumo breakout. This will flip bullish eventually in the next couple days. Is it going to sell off? I don't know. Is it going to go to zero? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But this is a great cloud setup. Great cloud setup. Yada says, I fudded ETH BTC at the lows. You guys realize if ETH gets denied on the ETFs, we are in a much different place than we are today. Oh, that's all I'm saying. Also, on this chart, do you know how many times people were sure it was the bottom? Do you know how many times? Yada, can you guess? Literally at every single low, people were saying like, this is the one. This is the big one. Get in, guys. It's just super funny. Anyway. Yeah. If the regulatory news goes the other way, this chart looks very different. So that's ETH BTC. Is this the low? Is the low in forever? I don't know. The weekly cloud still tells you probably not. Probably needs some more time. But again, what do the ETH maxis care about? My opinion on ETH BTC, you know. We'll see. We'll see what the ETFs bring. Certainly better news than had been what's going on, right? That's a start. That's a start. Rob, it's going to be around 3:30 probably. So we may see a market reaction on that. All right, let me read chat. I've been neglecting. Someone with 10,000 Ks in their name wants me to check Atom. If it's not above the daily cloud, bro, I'm going to be pretty upset. I'm going to be pretty upset. See, this is why I use this overlay called the Ichimoku cloud. I don't care what this is. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter, right? Look at this chart. It's giving you nothing. Go down to the 12-hour. What does the 12-hour show you? It shows you that nobody wants to hold on to this thing and wants to keep selling it off, selling it off, selling it off. There's your answer. What is there to do here? Nothing. What is there to do? Nothing to do on the weekly. It's like Square, right? I love this chart. I love this chart. Love the company. I use Cash App all the time. But this chart is going to need time to figure itself out. Q4. Let's do you one better. Let's look at Atom BTC, right? Tell me where that's bullish. You tell me. Weeks ago I said you could look at this as a range. Let's just get rid of the cloud. You could say, you know, here's your crazy range, right? Here are the highs, here are the lows. If you think this is the bottom, make your stand. It's basically at an all-time low. What is there to say? There's nothing to say. It's Tezos. It's EOS. Let's look at EOS. You know, you want to see your fate as an altcoin? This is your fate as an altcoin. Continuous yearly slow bleeds with a 1 week or two party. This is why no one cares about altcoins with a brain. Sorry, like they just go to zero against Bitcoin. That's it. That's it. All right. BlackRock likes XRP. Well, you know what, GC? You know what I'll say to that? I'll tell you what. It'll show up on the daily cloud, the weekly cloud. It won't go to infinity without you, brother. I'll tell you what. Does NEAR have a bearish ascending wedge? Crypto Jack's got everybody looking at wedges. Why are we looking at wedges? People keep putting right shoulders in my, or wedges in my right shoulders. I'm assuming you're talking about this. I think you could probably draw that on every single inverted head and shoulders that's ever happened. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, like, you could do that on Pepe. Did that really help you? I don't think that helped you too much, you know? So, yeah, I don't know what to say. Is it there? I guess. Is that going to help you? I don't know. I'm already in a trade. I don't care. So, it looks fine to me. You prefer to use crypto cloud settings on TradFi? No, I use TradFi cloud settings on TradFi. Someone's asking about BTC. This is why I talk about the cloud all the time. The best entry is always the daily key June. The closer you get to the daily key June, the better the entry. 64.6 on the index. You can get as greedy as you want. Wait for it. Do whatever you want. That's always going to be the best entry. Do with that what you will. Okay, what else are people saying? What other pearls of wisdom? See, my goal is, like, you don't need me to look at anything. You just find your system. You just find your system and you use it. Climb a DAO? I don't. It doesn't look bad. Looks better than Tia. It's not for me. It looks like it has terrible liquidity. Looks fine. I don't know. Looks fine. Someone's asking about KWeb. We'll get there. We did render. It looks fine. Just patience. Similar stuff I've never heard of. Floki. Floki, does that have enough data? No, I guess it does. The liquidity on Bitfinex looks atrociously awful. Yeah, look. Now, I might not like this coin. I might think it's going to zero, but it's above the daily cloud. Sure. The flavor of the month stuff is meme coins. It is a meme coin. That checks that box. It is above the daily cloud with a bullish TK cross. It looks better than, what was it? SHIB. It's in the SHIB vein where it's got this diagonal resistance breach. Sure. Where does this go? I mean, whatever that is. That would be my max target. Target up here. Looks better than 80% of the charts I've looked at on this stream so far. I'll give you that. What do you think about the multi-month retracement and multi-month ETH BTC inverted head and shoulders? Am I seeing things? Multi-month. So I see what you're seeing, and I do think you're seeing things, but you know, he's talking about this, I think. Boop, boop, and then bleed. Sure. Sure. I just like the 2-day cloud best because even if you're trading, let's say you're trading, hold on, I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but if you're trading these resistance levels, you know, We're starting to break resistance diagonals finally on this thing. Finally. I think that's way more important than a monthly pattern potentially. Benny, you missed everything. The world was ending, and then it wasn't, and now it looks like we're back above 67. ETH got lucky, politics got involved. I agree. Are we going to the place of pain? I had someone tell me in the Discord today that we're going to 48. I mean, we're down 1% from all-time highs, and we're going to 48 all of a sudden. Look, anything's possible. I just... This is why you have math involved and not emotions, and you focus on successful, historical, edge-worthy things, not a headline about Taiwan. I'm trying to remember the sentiment around this time. I think it's so clouded for me because of the COVID stuff. Like it was just all about COVID. But I'd have to go back and watch videos on what I was talking about. But I'm making fun of the ETH monthly thing pattern. But this was very much a thing, right? This helped give me confidence that we're going higher. So, what do we have up here? We still have this. This isn't exactly dead. Now you're going to have people say, it came back into the range. It's over, man. Like Covian distribution, man. UTAD, man. I don't even think it's a flag, to be clear, but I also don't think it's Wyckovian distribution. This is still on the table. I don't know. I don't understand where everybody's like, the sky is falling versus, oh my God, Bitcoin's gonna replace the dollar. Like it's always in between. It's always one of those things that's never like some flavor of in between. It's taking multiple trades over. Hold on, sorry. Where'd that go? I just lost it. Sorry, I lost the question. Martin is asking why I don't use 1030, 6030 for alts. So the real answer is I flip between all the clouds so much that I'd much rather change the time frame. So like Pepe, again, back to this example. Pepe, I was looking at the 12-hour. Other than the speed of the market, I was also watching the Pepe cloud on the 12-hour, which is 2061, 2030, but it's actually 1030, 6030, So you can play around a little bit with it. If the speed of the market is quicker, then yeah, I would probably dial it back a little bit for alts to the 12-hour or change it to 1030, 6030. You may have a better hit rate with that, just depending on your trading style. But that's not a terrible thing to do. I hesitate to even talk about that stuff because I know people are going to be like, oh man, I was on the 15-minute, right? I was on the 15-minute with my 1030, 6030 cloud. And the settings, they didn't work, bro. Yeah. So, but yeah, 1030, 6030, that's fine. If you're on the daily, right? I don't think on the BTC pairs there was much else. Sol did look interesting on the BTC pair. Like, why do I care about it? It's above the cloud. It still has this potential. Like, to be clear, I'd want this to break down. But trend is kind of back and forth, trying to get bullish again. Is there anything else people care about? Pax G, gold. Gold BTC. Had a nice little 5-day bull plan, and then boom, right back down. This is like the same argument for the ETH BTC 2-day chart. You know, this was not a signal that went anywhere. We still haven't gotten above the daily cloud yet for gold BTC. Adam BTC putting in a spring. Brother. I mean, really? Is that what you think this is? This is my other problem with Wyckoff. If you know nothing about anything, you're going to have a real tough time trading something as subjective as Wyckoff, because you're just going to see what you want to see. Like, sure, we could, you know, pull up the Wyckoff thing, call this a spring. He fudded the bottom of ETH BTC. He's fudding the bottom of that. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Check the Phillies and let us know. Dude, the Phillies, is it going to be Phillies Yankees in the World Series? I don't know. It's going to be super interesting. They're playing so well. They're always ahead in pitch counts usually. They're always ahead in the games usually. They're just always hitting in the runners in scoring position. They're always moving people up the base paths, stealing bases. Like, they're doing everything right. Pitching is on lock. They've got a deep bench where they can have these people get injured and still be really good as a team. Like, it's wild. It's really wild. Would you be more bullish on BTC over Solana? I don't know. Just that's why I looked at the chart, right? Sol BTC still looks pretty good, right? I like BTC. I've been here for 10 years. Do I think Sol's going to be here in 10 years? Probably. I guess it's almost 11 years now I've been here. I don't know, right? Like, we got guys trying to make $10,000 on Brett today. So it's hard to say whether anything's going to be around for 10 years. It's the kind of the same argument with people asking about, like, what part of the cycle are we in, man? Like, I don't know. Like, last cycle was different than the cycle before that, which was different than the cycle before that. This cycle is probably also going to be different. This cycle could not be a cycle. It could just be continuous institutions flooding into this crap, right? I don't know. But it looks great on trend. Fricker, thank you for the donation. Can confirm. Somebody say Tia. Have a good day. Thank you. Rising wedges and falling wedges depend on market sentiment and direction. In a bull market, rising wedges lean bullish. They're some of the noisiest patterns. Yeah, I don't think rising wedges are bullish. I mean, we just had one on BTC. Right, it was, if we dial it back to this, we just had a great rising wedge. I will never look at a rising wedge and say, oh man, this is just so bullish. It usually isn't. It usually breaks down. I tweeted about it. You can see the Bitcoin maxis just raking me over the coals, thinking, oh man, this is gonna keep going, bro. What do you know? And we were pretty bullish, but we were also overextended. This wasn't, you know, an inverted head and shoulders right shoulder, right? This was clearly not that. So that's the difference, in my opinion. Mikhail asking about the color of the cloud. If you go into the cloud settings and the plots background, section, I bump it way up in the opacity. That's how you change that. Can you look at Rune? Sure. He's giving me a time frame, folks. He's telling me Rune on the 4 hour. What am I gonna say? Green chili. What do you think I'm gonna say? Rune on the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily. If there isn't a daily trend that is bullish, it's hard for these coins to move up, right? It's just hard. That's why it's easier to focus on strength. Like, you'll just do better. This chart on the 4 hour will have an easier time moving up when it's above the daily cloud. It's all ending by all the toilet paper. Thank you, Juan. Go Phils, I agree. Maverick. I lost chat again, sorry. Dr. Manhattan, I looked at PFE. You know, look, it's the same thing with KWeb. If you're like me and you like this chart on the weekly, okay, this could take 3 to 6 months. I don't know. You have to give it, it spent 2 years consolidating. It needs time, right? I like it at this level. I like it at any level below that. It needs time. Like, this stuff is not a day trade for me, you know? It's the same thing with PFE, okay? On the daily. It was in a downtrend for 2 years. It's going to probably need a second. I don't know. It's not going to take, it's not just going to magically pop up in a day. Unless I'm trading, you know, stuff like snow, where I'm on the 4 hour watching this pattern. That's when I expect this to break out. And if it doesn't, I'm out, which is what I did today. I took the trade. It didn't break up. Technically, it did break up in after hours trading, and then it sold off when it opened again. But that's a different trade, you know, than KWeb or Pfizer. Those things, I don't know. They could take a very long time. Sox L. Looks like NVIDIA. You know, if you're, I gotta say this carefully. If you're asking me if this is gonna bounce here, you're probably underwater. You probably bought the top, is my guess. I don't know. You got to be careful. The whole world is melting down today, so today's probably not going to be a good day for that pair. SMH, similar story. You know, things are bullish, but they are struggling here at all-time highs, that's for sure. That's for sure. That's kind of the issue. What was it, last stream? Last stream we were talking about, I think I entitled the stream, How Bullish Can We Get? If we look at the pitchfork again, where is it? It's like this. What is it? I can't remember. That's a good one. That's not the one. Is it like back here? I think it's back here. No, I don't know. The point is, everything is up a lot still, fairly quickly. If you're like me and you're just trading like breakout trade, breakout trade, breakout trade, eventually that stuff's going to slow down. That's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, it's not always going to have this crazy explosion. at the highs. So I think we're kind of there on the whole market, right? Like the whole market is just sort of waiting for the Fed to cut, waiting for something. And it can just hold up here and consolidate. It doesn't need to go anywhere. It doesn't need to do anything. Yeah, Spencer, I talked about ETH BTC. My question for everybody trading ETH BTC is, have you been holding this thing? I assume it's a mix of 50-50. Like, are you down 50%, or at least you were down 50%, and just hoping that it's bottom? Or are you ready to reallocate? I don't know. Weekly's not bullish for ETH BTC. It's just not. You can throw eggs and cabbage at me and tomatoes, but it's below the weekly. It's below the 3-day. It's below the 2-day. It's back above the daily, but it was back above the daily many times over the past 2 years and unable to hold those levels. So that's about as far as you can get with it, right? What else are you going to say? Trading this pair directly has always been damn near impossible because of the volatility. It's kind of nonsensical. That's why the high time frames have told a pretty good story historically. Like, we're not even in the weekly cloud yet. This could take some time. Yeah, stake your TIA and enjoy your 10-cent airdrops. The U.S. has fallen into recession every time Philadelphia has won a World Series. I do remember that from last year. So it would be interesting. Like, the timing could line up perfectly for that this year. Yeah, Juan, the VIX is up on the Taiwan stuff, I assume. When you ask, what do you think I'm going to say, would be great to throw a poll into the chat. I mean, it's always the same thing. Like, the ticker doesn't really matter. Someone has to explain the banana zone thing to me because I don't understand the reference. I looked at ADA. It looks terrible. Looks like everything else that isn't things people care about. Yeah, I know Raul Paul brought it up. I just don't know what that means. Does it just mean everything up and to the right? I don't know. Grilling burgers tonight. I don't know what I'm making tonight. Let me do what I did last stream. Let me just run through this stuff we talked about. AR. Let's do some last minute crypto and then we'll switch to legacy. Arweave still looks fine to me. If it's above the daily cloud with a bullish DK cross, it's got a chance. AIOZ, same thing. All of these charts to me look exactly the same. Exactly the same. And if they don't look like this, if they don't look like render, if they don't look like the stuff that's moving, you're just hoping that things go your way. That's not crypto. Where's crypto? This stuff? No. Oh, what's this? Ampleforth. Okay. Again, like, there's like two styles of chart right now. Either you are kind of holding above the daily or you're struggling below the daily. That's it. Before I forget, one I wanted to check. Sol ETH. Can delete this now. Sol ETH, I thought, was kind of setting up for... Let's take that off. It's pulled back a lot since, obviously, but Kind of setting up for an ascending triangle. It's going to be interesting. Let's say the ETH stuff is approved, it launches, it does well, whatever. I don't know. It's going to be interesting how soon we get the next round of ETFs, if any. There's some argument that we won't get any until we get the futures for those products. But I'd assume Sol ETH would sell off if Sol does not have a product, right? But the pattern looks good for now. All right. Tron, let's go back to the daily cloud real quick. Tron falling, what is that? It's like, I don't know, it's ugly. Falling below the cloud. ERN, no, Gary, no. ENA. ENA starting to look okay. It's not for me. Not for me, but with the ETH regulatory pivot, that's probably why that's doing well. Pendle looks okay. Again, it's the same chart. Render, Near, Bonk, Pepe, Shib, it's all the same thing. Leo, garbage, Say, Sui, both no. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with that one. No. PRO falling down below the cloud. Any last minute crypto things to look at that hasn't been last minute crypto charts that haven't been discussed yet? Going once, going twice. I don't think there's anything else. Bonk, Pepe, what's LYX? No. I mean, everything just kind of looks like just kind of meh, you know? There's really nothing. What is that, stacks? Man, how good am I? I must have drawn that diagonal a while back. Shib, we talked about. Ton, I think we talked about. I don't think there's anything else in this list that. What was that? Arrow broke down. I'm gonna assume Solana is not worth pulling up. ZRX, sure. Looks like everything else. You know, it's got the below the cloud flavorings to it. We talked about Cardano and I said it's trash, I think, right? There's nothing here. Same thing. That's it. You know, pull up these charts if you're able. If you've got TradingView, pull up like a 4x4. I mean, we can do it, I guess, but let me go to, hold on. If my TradingView doesn't, 4x4, IHS below cloud. That's all caps, baby, all caps. Here's what I would do. Ready? You ready for this alfalfa? I don't think you're ready. You think you're ready, but you're not ready. You are not ready for this alfalfa. I talked about these in the alt video. These are all just gonna take a long time probably to play out. See, my TradingView is not working properly, so this could be a problem. Okay. AVAX, right? What was another one? ADA. On the daily. So this is what I would do. Just go through the list, look at them all, find the leaders, find the laggards. They probably all are about the same. It doesn't really matter. Chart. The coin doesn't matter. They all look roughly the same. Link is another one you could add to this list. I'm sure there are more. Dot, it's already there. Just go to the daily, right? These all look the same. These will all probably move together. Anyway, so I would just line them up. Pick your favorite one. Find the strength. Find the weakness. Avoid the weakness. And that's it. Be done with it. You know, there's Link. It's like all the others. Anyway. Okay, let's look at Legacy for 20 minutes here. I kind of already did, but... What is this? Remember the short semis trade? You guys remember that from a couple streams ago? That was March 28th. We were talking about that. Didn't quite get there. DXY, I haven't talked about DXY. So yes, we are down today because DXY is up. There's fear in the air, ladies and gentlemen. There is fear in the air, but we're still ranging on DXY. It's not turbo mega super duper uber bullish. Ideally, we get this. Where is it? We could get something like this on DXY. Low time frame. We've had a ton of that on the opposite end. There's one here, there's a giant one here. Like we just keep making these back and forth. But that's why we're down today, mostly. Blame it on Taiwan, blame it on risk off, I don't know, whatever. This is clearly risk off today. What else? I don't think these are worth talking about. Squarespace, that got acquired, I think. XLE, rough day for XLE. Tilray, Hood, yeah, everything's just kind of down today, right? KWeb, we talked about that. Zoom, Coin looks okay. It's above the daily cloud, doesn't look horrible. You're waiting on a bullish TK cross. You know, it doesn't look terrible. That's the best I can do. Toast, WGMI, that's miners, that's pulling back snow, that one's ugly, we talked about that. MSTR, interestingly, topped out at the very edge of the pitchfork so far. It still looks pretty good on the daily. Doesn't look horrible. Peloton, garbage. Don't know what that is. Clean Spark. Looks whatever. GME selling off again. All right, let's go back to this other list. We talked about that. BitX, we were talking about the 4-hour cloud. Briefly above, back down. It just needs more time. I'm not really worried about it. Everything else is sort of chopping around. WGMI briefly attempted to get above the daily cloud. Briefly. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's okay. You know, it's down today because everything else is down today. Clean Spark, chopping around. Marathon, chopping around. Riot, chopping around. IREN has done quite well. Not a clean trend just yet, but it's getting there. You know, we're just about almost there. So I don't hate Iron. Estig is a mess. Maybe Adam and Eve at the bottom. Hut just chopping around forever. That's some forever chop. Forever and ever chop. Wolf I still like, even though it fell below the pattern, below the cloud. I think we're close enough. Like if this thing doesn't just completely fall off a cliff and some bullishness returns, I think it'll be okay. Gree, this thing is just chopping around. Adam and Eve at the bottom there. Square I kind of talked about. This thing has just gone from ugly to uglier. Needs time. Needs lots of time. Hood looks great still. Above the weekly cloud there. Maybe this is some sort of cup and handle. Eventually. You know, the chart pattern people are going to tell you this can't be a cup and handle because it's not at the top of the range, it's at the bottom, but whatever. I don't know. It still looks fine to me. PayPal, like somebody mentioned in the chat, denied at the weekly cloud so far. This is another one that's going to take some time, probably, if this pulls up at all, right? This could just go to zero. I don't know. It reminds me of Pfizer, you know? Like, you got to give it some time. You got to give it some time to fail before you're like, oh man, it's over. It's so over. If we go back to PayPal, the reason I started to like this, not with like massive size or anything, but it got in the 3-day cloud. It broke out of the wedge. It had this, if you guys, yeah, you guys can see this. It had this pattern-ish at the bottom. It's not an amazing trade. It probably moves with square. So it probably needs time, right? Needs time. Yeah, Zoom. Zoom is like, what is Zoom like? Zoom is like Atom BTC, EOS BTC, Tezos BTC. It's like, you know, if you want to take a gamble, this is not a terrible gamble, but the company is the company, and I wouldn't touch this until it's above the 3-day cloud. Because this could just do nothing, you know. This could just chop you up for another 2 years before it does anything. So I personally like to wait for momentum to come back, because that just doesn't look like anything's going on anytime super soon, you know. So I would just wait. I would just wait on that one. I sold my PayPal for Coinbase. I mean, hey, at least Coinbase is going up, right? At least Coinbase is going up. Mag 7, I mean, we talked about NVIDIA. SMCI. Kind of just chopping around in the daily cloud. Not really a trade for me. Apple chopping around for like a year now up here. Not really for me. Microsoft, you almost have a bullish TK cross up here. Also pretty choppy. You know, there's not a lot of amazing setups right now in Legacy. Amazon looks fine. Meta in the cloud. Google's what I cut this week for KWeb. We'll see how much of a mistake that is eventually, but I still like it. I like KWeb's potential. Google's obviously not going anywhere, okay? But depending on how you want to measure this pattern, we were getting close-ish to a target. I don't know. It still looks fine. Still looks fine. Netflix looks okay. Tesla. Tesla's just had pattern after pattern, huh? Hold on, let me draw this on another. I just think there's better stuff to trade than Tesla. That's why, regardless of how this looks, but this is one thing to maybe watch for. You also have this daily cloud on your side. I don't know. It's a mess. It's a massive mess. Gaps everywhere. It's not for me. What else we got? Toast I talked about. It's fine. It's back into the top of the range. S&P. Anger Day. Looks fine on trend. Q's the same. IWM does not look good to me. So I don't know why there are people long this thing. Trend looks okay. I'll give you that. But it really hasn't been doing much, right? It's like Ripple. Like, where's the signal here on trend? There is no signal. It's just been ultra turbo death chop for 2 years, 3 years. VIX. I love how the VIX went from like 11.5 to 13 and the world's like melting down. It's just funny to me. What else we got? Costco. I don't see anybody talking about this still, but Costco's at all-time highs again this week. Just a massive bullish continuation on that off a pattern. That's right, MC. Ultra turbo death chop. I agree, Karen. Tesla, Elon rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Gold bug is not going to like that one today. I don't even know what you do with this. It could go back to the Kijun. Again, there's like no great setup here. It's kind of like post mega inverted head and shoulders breakout. I don't know what you do with that up here. Oil. You'd think if there was some massive war on the horizon, oil would be up, but it is not. XLE. Still above the weekly cloud, still above the 3-day cloud. It's not at a good time since the breakout. This could morph into a falling wedge, but that's probably just cope. And that could take a long time. It looks okay. You never want to see something come all the way back into the range, that's for sure. On the daily cloud there, it suggests 89, so I don't know, but daily cloud really hasn't given you a great signal. I think it just needs time, personally. COPX, huge reversal over the past week. That largely due to the crowded nature of that trade, I'm guessing. I still like it. WPM, same thing. I still like it. Uranium. I still like it. Above the daily cloud. Somebody keeps asking about MSOS. Isn't the best news of MSOS behind it at this point? think you give it time. If you're bullish, the cloud says give it time. I don't like this like head and shoulders thing up here. But it's risk off all over the place, baby. Today, this is an angry day. I can never walk into Costco and not buy croissants. Costco's great. Costco's great. Any last minute requests here before we shuffle off? Was there any ETH news yet? I assume not. Otherwise people would be celebrating in the comments. Guess they're taking it to the wire. Gotta wait till 3:59 and 59 seconds. Are we having a watch party? Is this not the watch party? I thought this was the watch party. So yeah, not a good day for markets, that's for sure. Everybody was so focused on Nvidia, they got rugged with Taiwan. Yacht party. Yeah, I don't know. Bitcoin looks fine. Everything else looks fine. Looks like this. That's about as far as I'd go. Yeah, I assume the intern is not in control of the Twitter account this go round, so I assume they're not going to mess that up again. Yeah, the Taiwan FUD is just an excuse to shake us out of our bags, bro. Gunblock says U.S. recession likely this year already. All right, well, you heard it, folks. We're in a recession. Butter and toilet paper. Guns and ammo. Canned goods and antibiotics. Anyway, I think I'm gonna hop off. We should have the news here in a few minutes, though. That's all I got for this one. Have a good weekend. Give me a like, dislike. And if you're listening to this later on and I didn't cover something, just let me know in the comments. Have a good weekend. Talk to you guys Sunday. Hopefully we're not all at 48K BTC and 2,000